What's going on, everybody? Been a few days. I figured I'd spit one out real quick to get that information out there. So, people often fret over, is addiction a disease? And I won't admit, a long time ago, I was skeptical about it. Now, I still argue they start as a choice. But I also believe now that if you continue making that choice too long, it becomes an addiction and then it's a little harder to control. So, if you look right here, addiction, it hasn't been a secret as it's baffled people for a good hot minute. It's a set of behaviors that reduces changes in the brain and structures and function. Addiction provides short-term relief of distress only to create long-term problems of living and self-management and make it difficult to stop, hence the addiction, right? And I believe that. And if you look over here at what is addiction, you know, substances, they engage in behavior for which the rewarding effects provide a compelling incentive to repeat the activity. So, specifically with alcoholism, it's going to hit that dopamine pleasure reward response for the brain temporarily, but then your body's going to stop doing the dopamine on its own. And you're going to have to eventually, keep going to more and more and more alcohol, hence being an alcoholic. Of course, there's other addictions, alcohol, inhalants, opioids, cocaine, nicotine, behaviors such as gambling. There's sex addicts, so on and so forth, etc. But I do believe that it is more of I don't want to say forced thing because that's the wrong word, but once you've made the choice for a certain amount of time, or maybe not for a certain amount of time, but for an extended period of time, I think the choice becomes less your just ability to want to do it. Like, if you do something that makes you perspire a lot, you need to take a shower, but most people don't get addicted to taking a shower, right? I just believe that it removes that ability to stop doing said activity. Real quick, we'll go over some signs and symptoms of addiction. Whether it's crack, cocaine, or alcohol, or a behavior, the common denominator of all addiction is continued use despite the development of negative consequences. Whether those negative consequences are to the person, their relationships, their finances, their work performance, and their inability to control the use. Right. And it's a good thing if you know it right there, that it's under the DSM-5 now, which is really good because that means that they can, in fact, get treatment depending upon how bad off they are. I got a boy in rehab right now. He's been there 3 weeks, and we got 3 more at least. I hope he stays even longer than that because he's been drinking for like 20-something years. But, yeah, it's if something's not diagnosed or not diagnosable or not recognized in certain ways, then it impacts on how you can get treatment. If you don't have the right type of insurance or they don't have to, they're not gonna pay for it. You know what I mean? That's just how they work. So it's important for it to be diagnosable under something like the DSM-5. So that way, even though you're addicted because you made choices, bad choices continually, now you can still get help to get away from those choices and start making the right ones. Obviously, causes of addiction, there's a lot of theories about what causes it. Like I said, I believe truly that it's just essentially, and this is, simplifying a complex situation, but it starts out with choices that you make, possibly during low points in your life, and those trigger psychological and physiological responses to make you want to continue doing what you're doing: gambling, crack, sex, alcohol, drugs, whatever it is. And eventually, you no longer have the ability to just say, I'm not going to do that on the way home tonight. Now you're addicted. So it creates that physiological response. You know what I mean? Um, and there's this site's really cool, just psychologytoday.com. It's actually really not a new article, but it does have a lot of good information in here. And here you go, right here on the left side of the screen. Get help. Find a therapist. So I'll type in an old zip code that I'm no longer at, and we'll hit enter. And oops. Okay. Well, you know what? Now we'll type in a zip code that's old. Yeah, Mariposa, like I said in my last video, Mariposa is so small, if you blink, you'll miss it. And there you go. And then right here you can filter it by your issue, your insurance, your gender, type of therapy, age, price, more, so on. And then this is important because, well, not really. Those are both Mariposa. So 209 is Mariposa, but 559 is Oakhurst, which if you're in the middle of Mariposa, you get to the middle of Oakhurst, it'll take you less than 40 minutes. So it's worth it, But yeah. Is addiction a disease or a choice? I would say it starts out as a choice, but it becomes an addiction if you continue to do it, and then you lose the ability not to do it. As always, everybody, get help. Everybody deserves it. You deserve it. Pick up the phone, go to this website, type in the zip code, call somebody, get help. Stay blessed, everyone.